and this is a competitive MOBA style game where each player is going to be controlling their own set of heroes and minions, and the game offers 3 different ways to win. You can either deplete your enemy's base's health down to 0, and the way to do that is by killing their heroes, because each time you kill a hero, you're going to be reducing that enemy's base health by 1. Alternatively, you can win the game by being the first player to reach the enemy's base, and the way that that works is that each time that you kill all your opponent's minions within a region of the board, you're going to be gaining ground and pushing forward as the enemy respawns their minions into the region that is next closest to their base. But in theory, this means that you and your enemy could just be pushing each other back and forth until the end of time, which is why there is the 3rd end game condition. And the winner for that one, it simply goes to the player that wins the 5th push, and you can kind of think of that one as a tiebreaker. And the way this game works is that each player is going to be starting out the game with 5 cards in their hand, and each one of these cards is going to have an initiative value, as well as a primary action and a secondary action. Turns are played simultaneously, with each player choosing a card from their hand to play in secret, and then revealing that card, and then the player that has a higher initiative value is going to be the player that's able to perform their actions first. And whenever you perform an action from these cards, you're going to choose if you want to do the primary action or the secondary action. The primary action is usually a little bit more unique and has some special effects, and usually a little bit more powerful, whereas your secondary action is normally just a movement action. But every time you use a card, you're going to be putting that card into a slot onto your own personal player board, and once all 4 slots are filled, that's going to trigger the end of the round. Whenever you attack an enemy unit, you're going to be checking what kind of unit it is, because if it's a minion, it's just going to be killed instantly, and you're going to gain a coin for killing that minion. But if you attack a hero, the enemy player has to discard a card with a defense greater than your unit's strength. But if that player is not able to do that, then they don't defend against the attack, and their hero is going to be killed, along with losing 1 health from their base. And once both players have played their 4 cards, or as many cards as they're able to play, that's going to trigger the end of the round, but it also triggers a really cool aspect of the game where you have to spend as much of your coins as possible upgrading the cards that you have in your hand. Because although you only ever have 5 cards in your hand throughout the entirety of this game, and those cards are always reused, you do have the ability to pay to upgrade any of those cards into a stronger version of that card, and each time you upgrade it, you will have multiple options as to what you want to upgrade that card into. Of course, the card you choose is going to replace the one that you've upgraded, but then the card that you didn't choose is actually going to upgrade the stats of every single card in your hand, and the way that this is indicated is by an icon on the bottom of those cards, and whichever icon that is, that's what's going to be upgraded for sacrificing that card. So this means that the card that you don't pick is also a factor to consider when it comes to upgrading your card. And because of the fact that this game is super easy to teach and play, and also gives you a ton of options, and also has 0 randomness because you're making all the decisions that are going to be affecting you throughout the game, this one is also my personal pick of the week, because these are my videos and I can do what I want. I do already own this game, but there is a bunch of packs and upgrade that I could add to my collection as well, which I don't have previously. Not sure if I'm going to back this one yet, but I might just have to play it a couple more times to be sure. But if you're interested in this one, I definitely recommend it. You can check it out in the description below, and you can click to get notified.